But barely a Saturday goes by at the moment without a win for my first guest today. He's had a really interesting journey to where he is now, more of which in a few moments' time. He is, of course, Charlie Deutsch.
It's Commodore under Charlie Deutsch for Venetia Williams.
L'Empresse is striding away from the glancing queen. L'Empresse makes all of the running to win the Paddy Power.
And now Cloudy Glen and Charlie Deutsch head up the running in the Ladbrokes Trophy and will win it for Venetia Williams.
Well, thanks for being here, Charlie. It's been a great few weeks for you, hasn't it?
Yeah, a brilliant few weeks, and yeah, you just don't want it to stop, really. No, thanks very much for having me.
Not at all. And I said it's been an interesting journey here. I mean, just take us all the way back to where it started for you. You're from a racing family. Your dad was a point-to-point rider. Was this always your destiny?
I was always mad on horses from a very young age. From the age of 2, I had a Shetland, and I'd be with it most days, and all the way through to now, I just haven't stopped riding and been obsessed by horses. And yeah, Dad used to point, and that kind of spurred me on. I remember watching his old tapes, and they weren't the most stylish, but at the time I thought he was like a superhero at the time. So, and Mum was always mad on going hunting, and that kind of helped develop my riding. I did a lot when I was younger, and then pony club, pony racing, and that led on to going to a yard then.
This isn't the first time you and I have sat doing an interview like this. The first time was, we had to remind ourselves, what, 10, 12, maybe even more years ago?
Long time ago, wasn't it?
And that was because you were pony racing champion, is that right? Or
no, I wasn't, no. It was, I think, I went on a pony racing course at Newmarket, and I think Hector Crouch was there as well, and I think John Journey Jr. was there, and a few others. And anyway, me and Hector, actually, I think we shared a room that week, and he was very good at that age, and he was quite small. Anyway, he got excellent rider or something for the week, and I got most improved. So, and we won. I think he went to, was it Henry Cecil's? Yeah. And then we won we got to go on the morning line. So that was very exciting.
and that was when we first met. And at the time, even then, you were pretty tall. Were you thinking, well, this is going to be difficult becoming a jockey?
Yeah, definitely. Everyone used to say to me when they said, what do you want to do when you grow up? And I said jockey, and there'd be the odd snigger because I was starting to look a bit tall. And there was a stage when I was younger and I was quite fat up until I was about 10. And I remember, I think I went to Cheltenham the one day with my mum and dad, and I was talking to a chap, and he said, what do you want to do? And I said, be a jockey. And I remember he burst into laughter, and that actually maybe obviously upset me, but it actually triggered something, and I lost a good bit of weight then. I started running and all sorts, and it was a good thing.
even at that very young age? Yeah,
at that age I suddenly became conscious of my weight then, and which I needed to, because I suppose from the age of 10 to 15 you can really grow, can't you? And if I was a big lad then I would never have been a jockey. But
were you being given quite a lot of encouragement by your family that this could be something realistic?
Not as a job, really. No, it was quite the opposite. Yeah, they said, Dad always used to say, "Oh, try training, or you could go and try and be an assistant or something." And I was just obsessed with riding, and he said, they would always say it's a hard life, and it's not as simple as, you watch it on, I grew up watching Channel 4, and you see all the glory of it, and obviously they knew it's not quite as simple as that, and there's a lot that can go wrong. So, and
were they right?
Yeah, they were. Yeah, I understood what they meant actually after a few years working in racing, but. Yeah, if you really want to do something, you will do it. So, no, it's great to, be getting somewhere, hopefully.
Could you identify a moment where you thought that that being a jockey was realistic? Obviously, you have your first few rides, you're sort of feeling your way, you feel you know what you're doing, but was there a point where you thought, this is my career, this is who I am Charlie Deutsch, a jockey?
Yeah, probably. Oh, it took a long time. Very much when I went to Venetia's, that's where I felt much more established. And yeah, and obviously when you start getting a good amount of rides and you're riding regularly most days, that's when you kind of feel a bit more established and a jockey. So it was probably 4 or 5 years into working in racing. But you're always, you know, as a jockey, you always feel like you're on a slippery slope, and you're always thinking, you know, yeah, keep the draft from the door, and you're always looking for your next winner, and you're always hungry, aren't you?
Do you still think that way? Is it a sort of fear of failure thing that drives you?
I suppose so, yeah. And even like we've had a very good start to the season, but you know, you're relying on there are some great horses, but you're relying on animals, and there's all sorts that can go wrong, isn't there? So and obviously every time a horse wins, it goes up in the handicap, so or you know, it goes into higher tests, and you just hope they can keep winning, don't you? And you just don't know what's around the corner in this sport.
Now, Venetia was scouting you from quite a young age, I know that, and she couldn't get you to begin with, and you went to Charlie Longston's for a little while. How did you finally end up where Venetia wanted you?
Yeah, I started riding out at Charlie Longston's from school just because he was local, and yeah, I had 3 good years there, and then I wanted to try somewhere else, and I actually went back amateur for a bit and rode in point to points. I really enjoyed that, and then it was just in the summer when there wasn't much going on, and I think it was my dad knew an owner of Venetia's called Julian Taylor, and he mentioned that Venetia was looking for a conditional, and Dad said, "Oh, give it a go." So I tried to get in touch with Venetia, but I think I missed her, and then she rang me back, and I missed, and you know, I could, you know, it took a few phone calls, and eventually she said, you know, I'm not guaranteeing you anything, but come along and see what you think. And yeah, I think the first 3 months I was working away on the yard, but I didn't get any rides off her, and I think Aidan was stable jockey, and you know, the horses were winning like mad, like they can do in November, December, and it was raining, and yeah, I found it amazing, but then I did want a slice of it as well. Yeah. But eventually it came. I think my first winner for her was Arkan at Cheltenham, which was great, and from then on it slowly got going.
Tell me a little bit about working for and with Venetia Williams, and what she's done and meant to you.
Yeah, it was obviously made my career, and she's tutored me really well, and she's brilliant to listen to. She understands race riding, she understands horses, and especially on the schooling ground, she'd teach you a huge amount. You know, she doesn't want you to interfere with them, and she wants you to be positive but not force them. And if you can understand what she wants you to do, then it's definitely a secret to getting horses jumping anyway. Because
a lot of jockeys will talk about their relationships with trainers, and the trainers will not be, you know, will not intervene too much. It seems to me that she's been more than just a boss to you. She's been a mentor as well.
Oh, definitely, in everything, and yeah, she wants you to do well, and she wants to help you out, which is great. And everyone at the yard is a good team, and you know, it's a great atmosphere. It's kind of laid back, but at the same time, everyone gets it all done, and there's huge care for the horses. I suppose it comes from the top, and you know, everyone really cares for the horses, from the good ones to the not so good ones, and you know, and you see all the horses that may be off, and they're out in the fields, and you know, you can recognise them out in out in the field as you're riding down the gallop, and everyone knows the horses like people. They're all their own characters, and yeah, I really enjoy it. There's everyone that works at the yard. I love asking them about their horses they ride and how they're going and what they think, and you can learn a lot from that as well. And yeah, no, it's just a great atmosphere there.
Now, I know you don't want to talk too much about 2018 because you've discussed it a lot in the press. This was your period of time, short period of time that you spent in prison because of a driving offence in Cheltenham. But what you have talked about quite a lot is the way that taught you quite a bit about the next phase of your career. Had it not been for that, where do you think you'd be now?
God, I don't know really. I suppose if you thought about it, I don't know.
I mean, how much did you grow up in 2.5 months?
I definitely, you definitely see things differently, and I think it makes you mentally tougher, and yeah, it definitely changes your outlook. But no, it's just about getting on with things and keep looking forward, really.
And you know, at the time, you're clearly somebody of incredibly good character, good reputation, close friends, close family. It must have been incredibly difficult for you.
Well, it happened. I was in the wrong, so you've got to face it. And the people around me were the ones that were the best, really, and they're the ones that supported me. So all credit to them, really.
And who was it who really sort of got you through that period? Who would you credit with that?
Oh, Meg, my girlfriend, was brilliant. She helped me a huge amount, and she's probably the person I speak to the most. And I talk to her about racing and stuff, and she works at Venetia's as well, and she knows all the horses, and we have a great partnership, and she's probably been the most involved with everything. So yeah, and then obviously I felt sorry for my poor family, my mother and everyone, and then Venetia obviously supported me greatly. So you need good people around you, and that's if they're not around you, then you can't do anything, can you? So.
And did you knew that Venetia was there for you when you came out?
Yeah, I'd obviously seen it in the paper, but I knew I could go back riding out, but I wasn't expecting anything, and I thought I was just grateful to be out and about and riding out, and I missed horses, so I think most jockeys they do love just being on a horse, and
how did you feel to be back on a horse again, back in the fresh air?
It was great. I was a bit, it's like, I suppose, when you watch, I saw an interview with a swimmer in the Olympics, and when they've been out the pool for a while, it feels a bit strange when you get back in the pool, and it is a bit like that with a horse if you haven't been on one for a long time, because I wouldn't have had that long of a break before, even with injury, and you feel a bit wobbly at first, but even though you're probably not that bad, but yeah, it's great. It was a great feeling, and you just feel incredibly happy all the time then. But no, I didn't expect anything, and obviously had to ride out, and I thought, well, I'm just happy, as to be riding out, and then obviously, let alone be race riding, and obviously the race riding came along, which was just brilliant.
And actually, things started to click into gear pretty quickly then, didn't they?
Yeah, it happened very quickly, and you just kind of get your head down, race ride and crack on, and it was just great, yeah.
What is it you enjoy most about this job? What is it that gives you the biggest kick?
Definitely just the horses. I've always been obsessed with horses, and but the satisfaction of even when you have a plan in your head of how to ride a horse and what you think the horse is like and what will benefit the horse and how to get the best out of it, and you come down to the last and you're looking for a big stride, and the feeling when you kind of get 3 strides away and you think there it is, that's a good feeling, and the horse comes up for you, and then you kind of ride to the line. There's nothing better, and because these horses, they don't have to do it for you. They don't have to jump. They don't have to gallop. But the fact that they do, it's just brilliant. And I get great satisfaction riding a winner for, I'm in Venetia's most days, and riding a winner for the team there is just it's just great. And it's you feel like it's a different feeling.
It's quite old school in a way, that the notion of a stable jockey, or it sort of went out of fashion for a long time, so it seems to be coming back a little bit more. The idea of you going in the next morning and everyone's got a slice of that success.
Yeah, exactly. And once the horses, you get a few winners at the beginning of the season, everyone's anxious, and they're working well and everything. But obviously, with the way the yard runs, we aim them for the winter, and there's obviously nervous excitement at the start of the season, and you're just hoping, wishing, praying, and then when you get the first winner, and then there's a bit of a buzz, and then you get on to a few more winners, then it really kicks off. It's a great buzz, and going into the yard, I love it in the morning, and you get in your tack, and everyone's chatting away and talking about the horses, and that's a big part of it in the mornings as well, and you never know with horses. Sometimes you think, you think you know what he's like, and they can come in one season and all of a sudden he's jumping twice as good as he did last year, or he's done a brilliant piece of work, or or he surprises you at the races, and that's the thing. You're never sure of horses, and they can always they can always make a fool of you, and you've got to be very open-minded with them.
What do you think your biggest strength is, Charlie? And I didn't have you down as someone who would answer this question readily either, because you're quite modest in a lot of ways. But if you were to sell yourself to someone and say, I should be riding this horse because...
I like to think because of, obviously, good tutorship from Venetia, I think I can get a horse jumping well and in a good rhythm, and if I try and be a good judge of pace. You don't always get it right, but I'm always very conscious of the pace we're going, and and if you can hit a good rhythm on a horse, and then the strides kind of just appear then, and I like to think I can get a horse to run for me and jump. So if I was to sell myself, that would be it.
Well, I'm very happy to do it for you. Don't worry about that. You can't give Venetia all the credit. I realise she takes quite a bit of it. I think you can take a fair bit of it yourself. Now, this season, things have kicked up a gear. Numerically, it's comparable, but in terms of the quality of horses you're riding, the kind of races that you're riding in, you're moving into a different sphere now. Which is the horse that excites you the most? Which is the one you cannot wait to get on again?
We've got some
really nice ones.
Good ones this year. Yeah, exactly. I was very excited by L'Empress the other week. Just his jumping was just excellent. He's got a great attitude to the job. He's not flashy, and he's got a huge stride. But you watch him jump the last 3 fences, and it would give you a real good buzz being on top of him. So yeah, he'd be one I'd be very excited about. And we've got other horses, Funnable Civiler, and Royal Pagaille.
But this guy could go a lot of the way to the top, couldn't he, L'Empress?
I hope so. Yeah. I was very happy with him at Exeter, and then I was impressed by him at Ascot, and then Cheltenham. Obviously, it takes a bit of handling the track. It's very unique, and the fences are very difficult to jump. You've got some downhill fences that are quite upright in places, and to handle a track like Cheltenham is brilliant. And he's just a fine horse, and he's got plenty of class about him. So I'd be very excited about him.
What sort of trip do you think is his optimum? I know he's running at 2.5. I was talking to his owner, Andy Edwards, earlier in the week, and he was saying, well, we've got a few options, but 2.5 looks the way forward unless something strange happens.
Yeah, exactly. He's done it over 2.5, so you wouldn't change much now. But however, he's been running through the line well when he has been running over 2.5, so I'm sure he would get 3 miles as well. So it's very exciting, and obviously Andy and Venetia will have their plans in place, and it's just nice to have a horse like that, and just gets everyone excited.
Saturday winners are great. When you win one of those great kind of marquee races in the season, it's even better. Cloudy Glen in the Ladbrokes Trophy must have been a very special moment for you.
Oh, that really was. You know, it was a kind of the minute I crossed the line, it was sinking in. God, you know, we've won the Ladbroke, and it was a real special moment. Even coming to the last, I was thinking, come on, Cloud, we cannot come second. And I could remember hearing Brendan coming, and I could hear the tap of his stick and a little bit of a click behind me, and I just had to keep him. I just knew I needed a good jump all the way up the straight, and at the last, and he was just getting a bit tired here and a little bit wandering, and changed his legs just coming into this fence, and I knew I needed a good jump, and just need to keep him in his rhythm, and thankfully we got it. And I thought, we can't come second because I'll be wondering what I could have done differently for the rest of my life. So it's just pure joy, really.
He's an unusual sort of horse with an unusual sort of profile. What kind of confidence did you go into the race with? Was this I described it as a bit of a Venetia special, pulling a complete rabbit out of the hat when very few people are expecting it.
Yeah, well, exactly. I wasn't expecting. I was very excited. He was second at the festival, and I was watching that run back, and I thought that'd be the one that, if he ran like that, we could run into a place. But I was very open-minded because I've ridden in this race before, and you needed plenty of luck, and they seem to go good gallops in these big handicaps, and they don't stop. And anyway, I was very open-minded, and I thought, I'll just line him up, get him going forward, and see how we go. And with the circuit to go, I was in front, travelling strongly, and just enjoying it, really.
And you say that you went in there thinking you could get placed. Do you ride differently? Is your mindset different when you go in on a horse who's an outsider, no one's expecting much? You don't really feel that you've got all that much to lose. Are you bolder? Do you take more risks? Do you take more sort of calculated gambles?
I think it is a nice feeling because you ride for the sake of riding. You're just doing it for the fun of it in a way. You want to win, but obviously you're looking for strides just for the fun of jumping, and
there's a more carefree,
a bit more open-minded and carefree, and sometimes it kind of works out in the end. And obviously you've got your mind focused on winning, and naturally, if you're there, you are competitive naturally. But it is a nice feeling, and it's a kind of it's a carefree, and it was quite fun actually before the race. Dan, who's one of the valets, he won the Hennessy before, and he always bangs on about it. Anyway,
Dan Ford.
Dan Ford, yeah. And he always says he might as well have won every Hennessy because he had the fastest time. So, but he had a speaker in the weighing room, and everyone was a bit quiet, and it was a bit kind of, before those big races, everyone goes a bit quiet and tries to get focused, and. He put on a bit of music, and it got everyone dancing around. I remember Harry Cobden was dancing around, and I think that kind of, it's great, and that's what the valets do, and they just break the ice a lot of the time, and it's great.
Sounds like Ted Lasso. Dan Ford getting you all up and dancing before the Ladbrokes Trophy. I want footage. I need footage of this.
No, you don't. You definitely don't. Not everyone does. There's a few of them just jigging around, so it's quite funny.
Who's got the moves?
I think Harry Cobden had the moves that day anyway.
Why doesn't that surprise
you? Yeah, exactly. He was all over the place, so yeah.
You are clearly loving it at the moment. You clearly have a real depth of appreciation for what you're doing. Do you ever feel you need to wind down and take a break or not, or are you just happy with kind of total immersion?
No, I'm very happy with total immersion, especially when it's going well. It's when it's not going well you need to take a break, isn't it? But no, obviously if I have a day off, I won't be immersed by racing. But yeah, definitely I'm very happy with being immersed by it at the moment. And yeah, it's a great sport, and there's so much to it, isn't there? You've got the races, you've got the work at home, and the horses, the people. It's just a great sport to be in.
Charlie, thanks so much for being with us today. Really appreciate it. You've got a long season ahead to Cheltenham and Aintree and beyond. Is there a target you've got your eye on? Is there Is there something this season that you're really eyeing up?
Not. I think you can't really be too specific on what races you want to win, because obviously we all want to win the big ones, but you need the horse, and they'll take you along. But and there's so many factors that you need to come into place, don't you? But if I could just carry on riding winners and make the most of every race and opportunity I get, it would be great. And just looking forward to what's around the corner now.
Well, you're doing a fine job of it so far. Congratulations yesterday on Fahrenheit with all the big race success this season. Charlie Deutsch, thank you very much.
Cheers. Thank you very much, Nick.
Subscribe to Racing TV to be notified when more Luck on Sunday videos are appearing online. And don't forget to join me for the show every Sunday morning from 9 o'clock with the best guests.